Hi, I'm Priyanka Bagde. In this video series, I introduce how to implement custom layers for your custom model with the Intel Distribution of OpenVINO toolkit. So far, I have introduced you to custom layers and showed you how to implement them at the model optimizer level. This time, I show you how to implement custom layers at the inference engine level for Intel CPUs. In the last video, we generated template files for the IE and MO and updated the files for MO with the hyperbolic cosine operation. Now, in order to implement the custom layers for CPU, we need to update these two files. First, using this command, let's open this C++ file and implement the hyperbolic cosine function. To efficiently execute the code, use Intel Threading Building Blocks library. To execute the code parallelly, we need to include ie_parallel.hpp file. If there are any attributes of the layer, the cosh impl constructor extracts them. The constructor also provides the layer pointer and configures the input and output data layout for the custom layer by calling add_config. You will need to uncomment the add_config line in the template. The execute method is overridden to implement the functionality of the hyperbolic cosine operation. Let's implement the hyperbolic cosine layer. First, create input and output data buffers. Then get input dimensions n, c, h, and w. Use the parallel for function to implement the hyperbolic cosine function to enable parallel processing. At the end, using reg factory for function, we register a new layer to the inference engine. Now that we have completed the hyperbolic cosine implementation, we will want to update the CMake file. Let's walk through the required changes. First, open the CPU extension CMake file. At the top, rename the target name so that the compiled library is called libcoshcpuextension.so. Next, modify the include directories to add the header and include the path for Intel TBB library located in the files as shown here. Then add Intel TBB binaries to the link directories as shown. Finally, add Intel TBB to the list of link libraries in the target link libraries. Now that we are done with implementing the hyperbolic cosine operation for CPU, we need to compile the C++ code to create a .so shared library to be used by the IE. Let's compile the C++ extension library. Here we are building the backend C++ library to be used by the inference engine for executing the hyperbolic cosine layer. Let's infer our custom model using one of the Python samples from the Intel Distribution of OpenVINO toolkit using this command. First, using this command, run the Python sample. Note that we have passed the extension library as one of the arguments while running the sample. Let's run the Python sample with our custom model. You can see the sample has ran successfully. The results are garbage values as the model is untrained. However, it showed us that our custom model with hyperbolic cosine operation was inferred by the IE without any error. Now we have successfully implemented custom layer for Intel CPU with the Intel Distribution of OpenVINO toolkit. You can find the sample code and the tutorial for implementing custom layers for Intel CPU in the links provided. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.
Hey, I hope you liked this video. If you haven't seen our other videos on the Intel Software YouTube channel, remember to subscribe, and don't forget to leave us a comment. Tell us what other material you'd like to see, and chat with other enthusiasts who watch our shows. See you next time.